What's up, neighbors? Welcome back to DIY Makes Sense. My name is Regina, and over the summer, I painted my backyard concrete patio. Now, it started off looking like this. It ended up looking like this. Now, you already know I'm going to step you through the process beginning to end, and I'm also going to break down how much it could have cost me had I hired a professional. Y'all do not want to miss this one. Let's get started. So here's my concrete patio right before it got painted. It don't look too bad right now. It don't look too bad, but I know how bad it can get. And I needed to paint this patio. And for you guys to truly understand what I'm talking about, I need to take y'all back to the beginning. Now this is what my patio looked like when I first moved in. Cracked. The whole patio wasn't done. Some of it was grass, mostly concrete, but it was in bad shape. So my husband hired a team to install concrete. And we did almost the entire backyard. And along the way, here are some pictures that I took. And in the end, it looked great. It looked really good. And then autumn came and the leaves started to fall. And this is how it progressed. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Yes. Oh yes. It gets worse. Yeah. Pretty much. Now put yourself in my shoes. You install this concrete in your backyard and it looks like this months later. Something has to be done. Something has to be done. Something will be done. But for a long time, I wasn't sure what I could do. I thought I would have to pressure wash the concrete and put a clear sealant on it, right? I felt like that was an option. Was it practical? Was it feasible? Was it easy? And then one day, I passed a house and I saw their driveway and I had a light bulb moment. I'm just going to paint it, period. So I did my research. I went to the hardware store and I ended up picking up this. And the main reason I picked this product, well, there's two reasons I picked up this product. It's a stain, but it's really more so a paint, but it also resists weather and stains. That had me sold. Now, to figure out how much of this I would actually need, I ended up measuring my backyard, calculating the square footage, and I ended up purchasing 6 gallons. Now, to me, this would probably be the most tedious and difficult project I tackled at this house. So it took me a long time to start this project because I was just so intimidated. I was so intimidated. I knew there was going to be a lot I would have to do before I can even think about staining or painting my patio. You ever seen concrete that's been painted and it looks like this? Or this? Or this? I don't want that. I don't want that in my I don't want my patio over time to look like that. So I knew it would take a lot of prep for me to successfully accomplish this project. I was going to need a pressure washer, which I didn't have at the time. I would probably need a blower. I didn't have that either. So I had to get a few things lined up before I can even start this project. But it is done. Let's get into the prepping of my concrete. So I ended up buying a brand new pressure washer. It was on sale. It was on sale. I'm going to give you all the details later. But I ended up buying a brand new pressure washer and a blower. So I started off clearing out my entire backyard. Cleared the entire backyard. And I started prepping the pressure washer. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of doing that. I'm just going to get right into me pressure washing. So here we go.
Ooh, did y'all see me crank up that pressure washer? That thing started up on the first pull. I was literally doing a dance in my head. So before I get too deep into the pressure washing, I think it's important to share with you guys what I did to spot treat the concrete. Remember that paint chipping that I showed you guys earlier? I'm really trying to avoid that. So after initially testing the pressure washer, I found a spot. It looked like oil, to be honest. It was kind of shiny. So to clean the area, I covered it with baking soda, dish detergent, and then vinegar, which creates a bubbly chemical reaction, and I scrubbed that area. I wanted to break up that oil so that the concrete was clean and clear of any and everything. You want that paint to bond only to the concrete, nothing else. And I felt that this step would help ensure that. I also did a lot of spot cleaning around my barbecue grill area, just FYI. I have never pressure washed concrete a day in my life, let alone crank up a pressure washer. So my technique isn't perfect. The order in which I'm doing it isn't perfect, but the more and more that I pressure wash, the better I got. So don't be intimidated if you've never pressure washed anything before. You'll get the hang of it. So here I just want to show y'all my progress so far. Everything was not coming up with the pressure washer, but a lot was. So at this point, I'm pretty much done. I'm really doing a lot of spot cleaning and also rinsing off a lot of that loose dirt, loose debris off the patio. So it's just a lot less for me to blow off later. I'm really happy with how everything has turned out. The patio is looking really good, really clean. The spot cleaning paid off. Hopefully I've created a really good foundation for this paint to stick and last for years to come. So after a few hours, the patio was nice and dry. All the water was gone. Time to blow all that loose debris off the patio, clear it all away to prep it for paint. I did not want to use a broom to sweep anything off because honestly, a broom is not going to clear everything off. There's still going to be debris. There's still going to be dirt. There's still going to be all kind of stuff on the patio that I just simply didn't want. The blower was the best way to go. After all that prep work, it is finally time to paint. I did not have a pole paint roller, and honestly, I didn't need one. I just made one with what I had around the house. It worked perfectly fine. By this time, it's late afternoon, and I'm trying to get this first coat, as much of this first coat down as I can. I'm trying to make the most of the day, because at the end of the day, it still has to dry. So to avoid painting myself into a corner, I started at the corner furthest away from my house, away from my back door. That was going to allow me the flexibility to run back and forth, get more paint, take breaks, get water, because it was hot out there. So when I was reading the back of the can, it says specifically not to try and stretch this paint. So when you got the paint on the roller, you can't be pressing the roller down real hard trying to, get as much out of the roller. You really have to lay it on thick. So you're going to see me go in and out of the paint tray a lot. This first coat just got sucked up into this concrete. It just drunk so much of it up that I was constantly going back and forth. By the time I was done with this first coat, this concrete had drunk up 4 cans of this paint. So at this point, no, I didn't do any cutting or painting around the perimeter of the concrete at this point. 2 reasons. Around the fence area and along the side away from the house, I had plenty of room with the roller. And if I didn't and paint got, I really didn't care if the paint got on something. And 2, I didn't know how far I was going to get with the painting. I didn't know if I was going to get to the house at that point because it was late in the day, but surprisingly I did reach the house, and you will see some of the cutting that I filmed. So I'm reading the can of this paint, and it says that 2 coats are recommended, and that's what I did. It also says that the drying time is about 2 hours. But I found that this paint dried a little bit faster than that. Maybe it was the weather, maybe it was the heat, I'm not sure, but it seemed to dry pretty quick. So at this point, it's getting late, it's hot, and I'm tired. And I only started this second half to get rid of the rest of the paint in this tray. It's not supposed to rain, so it'll be all right till in the morning. So the next day after this first coat dried, I walked on it, I knelt down, I touched it, and it felt like it had bonded very well to the concrete. So that made me feel really good about this first step. So after their first coat had dried, I wanted to inspect the concrete, see if there were any areas that I missed, because I knew there were a few areas. My concrete is very rough in texture. It's not smooth at all. So right now I'm just spot painting to just try and get that nice even first coat consistent all the way around. I am almost done, and I don't even want to talk about all the mosquitoes that got in my house during this time. No, we ain't even gonna go there. First coat is finally done. Yeah, it looks a little patchy, a little streaky, but don't worry about it. If you paint the wall, it looks the same way. It's never gonna look even, that first coat. Second coat will even it all out. I'm not worried at all. Next day, afternoon, First thing I do, I take the blower to the concrete, blow everything off. I start my cutting right away, and I've already started on my second coat. Now look at it. It looks super smooth, nice and even. Streaks are gone. It looks really good. It took me almost no time to get this second coat done. It only took 2 cans, and I still had some left over for any touch-ups. Now, before I reveal the final look and the before and afters, how much would a professional have charged me to do this job? Let's break it down. So I called a company and got an estimate. They quoted me $2,500. It was actually a little bit more than that, but this is the number I'm going to go with. And it included the pressure washing, the painting, and everything that goes along with it. It only cost me $450 to do it myself, and most of that budget went to the pressure washer, unfortunately. In the end, I saved over $2 grand. You cannot beat that, and I gained a whole lot of knowledge in the process. Now let's get to these results. And here is the final look. I will give it a day or so before I go out there and walk on it, but so far so good. It looks great. Now let's get into this before and after. So I filmed this portion of the video 2 days after I finished, and can you believe it done rained already? Leaves done fell. Well, I guess I'll be testing if that whole resist stain thing works out. I just didn't think I'd be testing it out this early. I think in 6 months I'll do an update on my patio, but if these leaves stain my patio like before, listen, I don't even want to think about it.
Well, that wraps up another video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.